Hi, my name's Eric, and welcome to the very first video on my new channel, MURPHIVERSE. In this speed paint commentary, I figure I'll walk you through some of my creative process, let the video play out a bit, and then come back at the very end and give you my thoughts on the finished design. When I do these designs, I'll just work as far as I can on a concept, take it as far as I can, and if I get stuck, I'll just create a new layer, start on a totally new drawing, see what happens. This session, though, was the very first sketch, so it all kind of worked out. Right now I'm roughing shapes in with a blue pencil, just finding interesting forms. Trying a couple things out. Trying to come up with something to fill the space in the forehead. Not really happy with that. At this point, I'm really not feeling the design. Not sure if this is going to be the piece that I do my first episode on. So at this point, I walked away, got myself a sandwich, thought about things a little bit, came back and tried some new things out. Not happy with those big, beautiful eyes. Now, at this point, when I add the new eyes in, that's when I was like, okay, maybe I can work with this. This is a pretty interesting look. So at this point, I'm committed in making this the very first video, working it through. Cleaning up more, just defining shapes, adding thick and thin. Even though I like the overall eye concept, I just wasn't quite happy with the shape. Working on the eye and the forehead, the gears didn't quite work. Working with contours. Just trying some things out with the eyes. Not happy with it, so I go back to the swirl. Just refining some shapes. Totally not feeling the gear design. As a gear, it wouldn't work. So I wasn't happy with the gear, so I decided to just rework it totally so it's no longer a gear. It's kind of digging that concept. Cleaning up a bit. Working with thick and thin. Just touching things up. Kind of seeing the different steps in the process. So at this point, I'm pretty happy with it, and I decide to move on to inking. And I'll just let this play out because inking's pretty self-explanatory. One thing you will notice, though, is that I go back and re-ink just about everything at one point or another. Enjoy the ambient noise. So at this point, I tell myself I'm totally done. I'm happy with this. I'll just go in and clean some stuff up, make sure there aren't any gaps in the ink, touch some stuff up if needed, and then export the final piece. So I noticed the mouth is pretty high up on the face and it needs to be lower. Also, it could use some more detail. So I lower it and add a bit more detail, and at that point, there's just a huge gap between the nose and the mouth. Also, the very symbolic shape of the nose no longer matches the more complex mouth. So I lower the nostril down and draw it in a slightly more realistic manner. And then I noticed some other things could use a bit more detail. So I went through and I basically reworked the entire piece. And here's the finished result. And I'm pretty happy with this guy. It's been a while since I've worked on a design like this, and it feels good to get back in the saddle, so to speak. So I'm pretty happy. Just one last thing to do. Add the old signature. Bang! So folks, thanks so much for watching this first speed paint. I really appreciate it. As you can tell, voiceovers aren't my gig, and thank you for suffering through with me. Have a good one. Stay safe. Wear a mask. Bye.